What is up, everybody? X here, and welcome to episode 3 of Tips with X, and today we are going to be looking at keybinds. Now, for all of you guys that play multiple FPS games, I'm sure you know that pretty much every game has their own little variations of what they assign to what keys. So sometimes primary weapons are on different keys, sometimes use keys are on different or use buttons are on different keys, sometimes grenades are on different keys and stuff like that. So it's good to set yourself up with a good sort of universal keybinds that you can sort of get in and get used to. So I'm pretty sure most of you use the WASD key set. That's probably the most popular one. There's also ones where you can use the number pad, and then there's also ones where people use the arrow keys, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure all of you use the WASD key set. That's pretty standard throughout FPS games. So what I like to do, or at least I'll tell you what it was in Black Ops 2 before I changed it and what it is now. So essentially, what I do for primaries and secondaries, I bind that to my Q key. Since Black Ops has a weapon, or has options for previous weapons, and there's only 2 primary weapons, I bind that to one key so it's quick for me to get to, and Q obviously is really close to my movement keys, so it's just a little click away. So it's easy for that. But for games that have separate primary and secondary weapons, I usually bind Q for primary, and then I bind E for secondary, just so it's quick to get to, and that's what I use in Backup 2 for quick switching and stuff like that. Now, pretty much when it comes to keys, I don't like using the keyboard. I like my hand focus on the mouse most of the time. So what I do for melee in this game is mouse down. Mouse up is my special grenades, and then mouse middle is my lethal grenades. So I pretty much bind everything to my mouse because it has to deal with my attacks. So it's interesting in that well, at least for me, I find having my movement keys on just one hand and just keeping that sort of separate, just so I don't have to take my hands off the movement. So when it's on my mouse, it's really easy to get to. And if you have a mouse with side buttons, it's also good to bind keys to that as well. So for example, since I have the Death Adder, I bind, in Backup 2 at least, my spot to my left into my mouse, into my thumb buttons, and that also works as my push to talk as well when I'm using voice servers. So it kind of works out like that, and just pretty much just setting up a key set that is sort of you can transfer over to other games and will stay relatively similar, and it's just easy to get to. So I mean, obviously play around with your own settings. I use, at least what I've come up with, is primary for Q, secondary for E, knife is mouse down, specials mouse up, and then lethals are middle mouse. So it just depends on what you want to do and how comfortable you are with rebinding your keys. Obviously, switching from multiple different key sets from different games can be annoying, and setting up some universal system for yourself will help you play better and make it easier to transition from going to game. So hopefully this little tip helped you guys, and I will talk to you guys next time.